All right. Sorry about that. So, as we go into our last topic for this, which is worded equations, you need to understand that with applications, most of our assessments are calculator assessments. Okay, so you have a little bit of a test which might be non-calculator, which would be that solving up to what we did just then. Okay, so being able to solve. And then, but 2/3 of your tests and exams are calculator. So, and given the topic is applications and we're looking at real world applications, you need to be, the main testing part of those in the calculus section is actually being able to read the question and make an equation. Once you've made that equation, you can then use your calculator to solve it. If you don't learn how to solve it, if you don't learn how to solve it on your if you don't learn how to solve it by algebra, then in a calculator section, that's okay. But in non-calculator section, you're not going to be able to do it. So you need to know both skills. However, a lot of marks are in the non-calc section. And as long as you know how to use your calculator, you're going to get extra marks because we can give you follow-through marks if you write your equation wrong, but you get the right answer. I have to put every single one of those equations into my calculator to solve, and you get follow-through marks. Okay, so it's really important that you know how to use your calculator, or you're making it harder for yourself. Because every single one of those things where you could just click one line in your calculator, you're going to have to do 10 lines of working out to try and get your answer just because you hate your calculator. Okay, so learn to love your calculator. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and make sure that I always record these lessons where we've got calculators, because I'll do the calculator stuff on my screen as well. If you know better, faster options of how to do things, tell me. I'm still learning. I've only had this calculator for a year. You guys have had it for longer than me, okay? But I do love it for these things, so making sure that we're using it in the right way. So to solve is actually quite an easy process, okay? So you've got to have an equation. You need to tell your calculator to solve. You need to tell you what it needs to solve and what it's looking for. That's pretty much it. So where do we start? We need to open a document, okay? So we need to control, document, add a calculator. I am going to always start from scratch because sometimes there are new people and things like that who haven't used their calculator, okay? So control, doc, add, calculator. So all solving is done in a calculator page. So you should have a page open up there. Now, there's a couple of different methods to be able to solve. So we're going to use that example which we just did, that a over 2 plus a over 3 equals 10. So we're going to try and solve for that. So the first thing you have to do in a calculator page is say, I need to tell my calculator to solve. It's not just doing anything else. So there's a couple of different methods. Now, if you get stuck, whenever I get stuck on this calculator and I go, I have no idea what to press, I always press menu, and then I look through what the options are, and I go, okay, what's our topic called? It's called algebra, okay? So you can either click on it using your little scroll button, or you can press 3, and it brings up algebra. Okay, what do I want to do? I want to solve. So it will be 3 and then 1. If you go through that list and you go, oh, actually, what I want isn't there, just press escape and you can go backwards and then try a different menu, okay? You really just can go backwards and forwards and try out different things. If you're stuck, have a look, search through it. Your calculator might be able to answer things for you as well. All right, so algebra, solve. Should bring up a page like that. So, I should put that lower. So, menu, 3, which is algebra, 1, which is solve. And that should bring up that screen. That's telling your calculator to solve. The other way you can do it is you can just type solve with the little keyboard down the bottom, open bracket, close bracket. That's fine. Does anyone have any other ways? No. Okay. In the brackets, write your equation. You can just use the letters down the bottom for your pronurals. So in the brackets, write your equation. So for us, sorry, I'll just leave there. For us, we're going to write A divided by 2 plus A divided by 3. It'll make it look like a fraction afterwards, equals 10 is what we're putting in. So to show you, A divided by 2 plus A divided by 3 equals 10, and then you need to press enter. Sorry, don't press enter yet. That's what we're putting in. A divided by 2 plus A divided by 3 equals 10. Before we press enter, though, we've got to do one last thing. Comma. Good. We need to tell the calculator what we actually want to find. Okay, so right now, I know it looks like there's only A's there, but we could actually put an equation which has A's and B's and C's, and it would rearrange it to however we wanted it to. So we have to tell the calculator what we're actually trying to solve for. So we say solve, we write our equation and we go calculator solve for, and that is done by a comma. And what are we trying to solve for? A. Comma, A. And then we press enter. So in the brackets, write your equation, then press comma. I'm just going to write comma, so in case you don't know what that actually looks like. Press comma, and the pronumeral you are solving for, it'll be up on the screen in a second. You are solving for, then press enter. So it should look like that. And that's it. I'm just going to show you a couple other really quick things on there at the same time. Are most people pretty confident with this? Yeah? Yep. All right, so if I just show you what I mean by why we have to put the comma A is I might have an equation which says 3b plus A, so 3b plus A equals 12. See how there are two pronumerals there? Oh, actually write solve too. So I'm going to solve for 3b plus A equals 12. I can actually go, I want to rearrange that formula so that A is the subject. So it just says A equals. And so I can go comma A, and then it doesn't give me a number to solve. It rearranges the equation so that A is the subject. So using solve is actually really good to be able to rearrange equations too if you're having trouble. So if you want to rearrange something, you can use that as well. Are there any questions about using a calculator? Yes? Yes, so when you've got two equations, you can only solve for one pronumeral with one equation. When we do simultaneous equations later on, you can put in two equations and solve for A and B. So for example, I'll just show you, but you're not going to have to do this till later. So you can go solve. And then I need to use my little template to do this. Get out of there. Possibly. No, didn't like me, sorry. Oh, it's that one, that's why. No, it's not. Okay, you'd put in your two equations and you go comma, x, comma, y. Okay? But we'll do that later on in the year. I won't confuse you. And that will come up with x equals this, y equals this. But for linear equations, we're just looking at one equation, one answer. So one pronumeral in one equation will give you one answer. Yes? You got to go. All right. So what I'd like you to do, before we're going to come back and do a few more notes about the worded questions, okay? But what I want you to do is grab out your booklets, try question, so page, actually just jump onto page 4 or page 5, pick some of the questions in question 2, and I want you to just practice solving them on your calculator. Okay, just like 3 or 4, and then we're going to come back. You can write them just on the actual booklet because you don't have to show any working. No worries. Can you make sure you catch up on the notes? Yeah, it's on OneNote.